Good morning for those who are still in the morning time zone, which is Pacific, I think. Yeah, so hi everyone, welcome to the stream. Not sure when this is going to start. I mean, it's going to start in about 15 minutes, but technically the stream's already going. It's just like playing music right now. Like, that's where the music's coming from. That's not me that's playing that. But yeah, it should start around about on the hour, so about 18 minutes from now, 17 minutes from now. Hi Dr. Prez, haven't seen you for a while. What's up? Also hi Clifford. So there's like 3 Nintendo Invitationals today. I wanted to watch the Smash Brothers one, but I don't know if I'll stream it. Like, if it came up after the Mario Maker 2 thing, I might do that, but Splatoon, like, I like Splatoon, but I don't really watch the competitive stuff for the most part. So that one comes up after Mario Maker 2, and that's like 2.5 hours apparently. So probably not going to stream that. I don't know if I'll come back later to stream the Smash Brothers stuff. Might even do a game if I feel like it. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. So, in a sense, this is kind of day 0, like, day 1 of the E3 coverage hasn't actually begun yet. That begins tomorrow with Microsoft and Bethesda. So, day 0 is what I'm going to call this one, because it's like, it's not really E3 related, but it kind of is in some sense, or it's like being lined up with the rest of the E3 stuff. Do you think they're going to announce any new Smash DLC at the Smash tournament? That would be cool actually if they did that. I didn't consider that they would do that during an Invitational, but that might be a possibility. If not, they'll announce it during the Direct itself, which is on Tuesday, so that's like after the weekend. Would be cool if Sakurai was in the audience of the Invitational just watching. In fact, they should get Sakurai to present the trophy to the winner. Like, that would be cool. But yeah, why am I doing Super Mario Maker 2 Invitational? Because I'm hyped for that game. I can't fucking wait for that game to come out. Like, when does that game come out? The 28th of this month, I think? Yeah, the 28th, so that's like 1, 2, 3 weeks away. Not that far away now. Thankfully my internet seems to be behaving today, because it doesn't always behave when I'm streaming the stuff that are live stream related. Let's hope that it stays that consistent throughout my streams for the next several days. Also, I mentioned this yesterday, but I'm actually kind of proud of coming up with that logo, because that just fits in perfectly. So I had the idea, and I thought to myself, wait a minute, those 2 E's kind of look like E3, why don't we put the E3 in there and see what that looks like? And I spent 10 minutes on like photoshopping that together, so that's why it looks, that's why we have that logo there, because I somehow came up with that idea, and that's like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but that's probably the smartest idea I've had all fucking year. So yeah, that's why we've got MEL E3 Kirby, or MeleeKirby E3 Kirby, whatever. Microsoft's briefing is going to be huge tomorrow. They said it's going to be 2 hours long. There have been some rumblings that they might be announcing a new Banjo-Kazooie, or something Banjo-Kazooie related. Some people want Banjo-Kazooie to be a guest character in Smash. I'd be down for that. I love Banjo-Kazooie. I talked about this briefly yesterday since it was announced yesterday, but I'm going to talk about it again since we're kind of talking about Banjo-Kazooie. Playtonic announced their new project. It's a new standalone ukulele game, and it's kind of like a side-scrolling platformer with top-down exploration parts, which I guess are like part of the hub world or the hub area. But it's mostly side-scrolling, so it's kind of like Donkey Kong Country Returns or Tropical Freeze. In fact, I noticed that they're showing off that one move where you like spin, like where I don't remember which one is Yuka and which one is Lele. Is Lele the bat? Like Lele spinning on Yuka while Yuka is in ball form. Like, it was something that was in that game, but in this game, like this 2D platformer, it's more like how Donkey Kong and like Diddy Kong like roll. It's like how Diddy Kong rolls along Donkey Kong when he's like rolling and like just knocking out all the enemies in front of him, which is kind of cool. So yeah, the trailer, if you haven't seen the trailer for it, it's on Nintendo's YouTube channel. It's called Yooka-Laylee: The Impossible Lair. It looks pretty good. I hope it's good. It's coming out this year. You've got an Xbox, PS4 and Switch now? Nice. Yeah, I've got all three consoles. Although they're all like the Xbox and PS4 that I've got are like vanilla models. Well, the Xbox is the vanilla model, the PS4 is a slim model, but it's still like pre-pro. Like, it's not a pro model. But in terms of the Xbox One, it's just like the pure vanilla model, just like the big, gigantic VCR looking thing. Which barely fits into my like multimedia center of like where my consoles sit with my shelves. But it does fit in there just a little. Just barely. Just over 10 minutes till this starts. Try to think of what else to talk about while we're waiting for this to begin. Apparently a lot of games got leaked over the last couple days. I'm trying to stay away from leaks because I kind of want to be surprised when they get announced during the Direct or whatever. The Direct, the Microsoft conference, whatever conferences they're tied to, or supposedly tied to. I always like to go into these things not knowing about the leaks, if I can help it. I mean, I heard about a couple leaks. I heard about the Darksiders one, but that's since been announced. Like, that was announced like 2 days ago, I think. Darksiders Genesis, which looks like a Diablo style game, which is kind of cool. Bah. Gotta love them Baz. There's actually a YouTube channel or a YouTube video that has like all the different pitched bass sound effects from New Super Mario Bros. So it's like several versions of the same bass sound effect, but it's like going up in scale, like in octaves, which is kind of cool. So you get to listen to all of them. In fact, I could maybe see if I can find that real quick while we're waiting for this. New Super Mario Bros. Bah. Right, here we go. It's like 30 seconds long. I'm gonna mute that for a second so you can hear this. Right, listen to this. That's all the different versions of the bass sound effect. The funny thing is, the YouTube video itself has like an image of like a Koopa. And it's like, they're like flipping the image every time the bass sound plays. I can't show you it right now because I can't capture this, but that's all of them. So yeah, let's go back to the music. Bah! Gonna turn the music up a little bit, why not? Monday is gonna be a fucking long day for me. Like, there's gonna be so much. I'm gonna like have to dig deep for Monday, maybe get like an energy drink or something for that one. I'm looking forward to it, but there's a lot of stuff to cover. Like, I wouldn't bother with Kinda Funny Games, but it kinda sits right between Ubisoft and Square Enix, which are two conferences I do want to cover. So I figure I might as well check out Kinda Funny as well. I don't know if I'm going to do it as one long stream. It depends on how long each conference or showcase is. If there is like an hour gap at the very least, I might take like a break. I'll turn the stream off and then just like stretch my legs or something, and then come back to do the next thing. I mean, Sunday is kind of long as well. Like, there's only 3 things there, but they're all back to back, and Microsoft is like 2 hours long. The EA thing sucked. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about that. I watched the EA Play thing, but I didn't stream it because I kind of knew it wasn't going to be that good. I watched the Jedi Fallen Order showcase. It actually didn't look that bad. It looked like a fairly competent game. It was like a mix between Uncharted and what's that Star Wars game, The Force Unleashed. Kind of looked like a mix. Like if you took those 2 games, put them in a blender, it kind of looked like that. So I'm cautiously optimistic for Jedi Fallen Order. That's like the only EA game that I care about right now, because it looks like a good Star Wars game, thankfully. Well, we don't know that yet until it comes out, but at face value it looks pretty good. The Apex part was trash. Yeah, I was kind of tuning out mentally when I was watching that. I was like, oh look, we're doing Season 2, look at all this cool but not really cool stuff you can get. There's no way, like, Apex has been dropping players for a while now, like for a good couple months. I'm pretty sure this time next year, like as much as I want it to succeed because, what's that developer called that's working on it, like they made it? Respawn Entertainment? But yeah, I don't think it's going to be able to compete with Fortnite in the long run. Like I still play Fortnite on a regular basis, like I still do weekly streams of that. But I played Apex for a total of maybe like 4 hours and I never went back to it. It's got some cool ideas in there, but it just wasn't for me. Also, that host they had for that EA Play thing was very cringy. It was just like this. I don't know if it was like a YouTube influencer or something, but it was like very loud and obnoxious and in your face. Really off-putting. Like, can we not just have like a down-to-earth host for once for these things? I forgot that woman's name who hosted some of the Ubisoft conferences. Alicia or something like that. I forgot what her name was, but I don't mind her as like someone who's a bit more flamboyant and just like out there, I guess, but for the most part I like people who are just more down to earth and chill for these sort of presentations, because it's like, I'm not really here for your personality, I'm here for the games, thanks. Right, this will start in about 5 minutes. I'm looking forward to it. There might be... I've got a feeling they might sneak a new announcement in here, like a new feature or a new function that's not been shown yet. Maybe a new theme. In which case, Super Mario Bros. 2, please. Yeah, like I said, the music's coming from the stream itself. Just to ruin the magic, there's the stream. I've just got it off to the side so you can hear the music. When it's about to start, I'll switch over to the scene where you can watch it. Ubisoft's conference, I wonder if they're gonna like fucking content claim or content strike people who live stream their conference this year. I don't know if you remember that from last year, but when I was live streaming, like a lot of people were live streaming the Ubisoft conference through their YouTube channels, like mine, and shortly after the conference had finished, everybody who streamed it had the video blocked worldwide, and I think they got a strike on their channel or something like that. Like something happened that basically disabled your ability to stream on YouTube. And it was basically kind of a mess because that wasn't supposed to happen, but it was like an automated thing that kind of stopped people from live streaming for a short while. So yeah, that was fun. That was fun that Ubisoft did that. I think it was because there was a song that played during the Just Dance segment, which, you know, Ubisoft always does a Just Dance segment with their conferences. Just like animal suits and stuff, like everybody dancing. Does Just Dance even still sell anymore? Like, I thought they would have given that up once the Wii era had run its course. So yeah, if I had to say which of these things that I'm streaming for this E3 season I'm looking forward to the most, probably a biased answer, but the Nintendo E3 Direct, because I do love Nintendo stuff. Like, I have all the platforms, and I love video games in general, but I've always had that love for Nintendo more than the other console manufacturers, just because they make incredibly solid games, for the most part. Like, they don't always make great games. I can think of Star Fox Zero as an outlier to the rule, but yeah. I hope Ubisoft makes a new Rayman game, that would be cool. I'm thinking Ubisoft might announce some sort of collaboration with Nintendo again, because that seems to have been a theme for the last few years. Like, we had Mario and Rabbids 2 years ago. Last year it was like Star Fox integration into Starwing. Or what was it, Starlink? Not Starwing. So there might be, some people are thinking Mario and Rabbids 2. I don't know what they would do if they were going to do like another collaboration with Nintendo this year. But it would be cool if they did something. Right, this is about to start, so we're now going to switch over to the other scene. Where is it? Here we go. Just under a minute now before this begins. After I'm done streaming today, I'm gonna have to go shopping to get a few big bottles of water, flavoured water, for the next few days. Keep myself hydrated while I'm talking about stuff. Right, I think it's about to begin now. Especially on Monday, where there's just like several conferences back to back, so I'm gonna need to make sure I've got plenty of water for that. There we go.
Good afternoon from Los Angeles, California. We're here at the theater at Ace Hotel, and a throng of fans have lined up since last night for an exciting full day of Nintendo competitive action, featuring some of the world's greatest players and teams as we get set for the Splatoon 2 World Championship 2019. The Super Smash Bros. Ultimate
Oh, come on. Of course it would do that now.
World Championship 2019 3v3, but we get all the fun started with the Super Mario Maker 2 Invitational. Welcome in, I'm Jordan Kent, and joining me fresh out of a couple of warp pipes, my two friends, Vish and Nine. And Vish, as we get set for Super Mario Maker 2, many people have had a chance to play Super Mario Maker. Now we have the sequel coming out. But for some folks, this is their first taste of Super Mario Maker action. What do you expect to see, and explain it a little
For some people, this is the first time. He means most people didn't buy the Wii U.
Whatever your heart desires, Jordan. You are in control of making the Mario levels of your dreams. Basically, you can take elements, enemies, and components from different Mario games and create your own level. And on top of that, you can play levels from creators all across the world. It's basically whatever you want, Jordan.
The possibilities are limitless. Well, guys, you know, I'm a dad now. I love rules. Let's take a look at the tournament rules here for today for Super Mario Maker 2.
Oh, hi, MSP.
Round 1, 4-player speed run.
That's fine. If you don't want to watch this, then that's fine. I'll see you on Tuesday for the E3 Directs.
For you. The player with the best overall time will choose a partner to team up with in round 2, because when we get to round 2, co-op teams. Teams of 2 work together to complete a co-op course as quickly as possible. The winning team will compete against each other in the finals. And when we get to the finals, oh boy, do we turn things over on its head. 2 players compete on 3 mini courses and 1 final course. Each win of the 3 mini courses is worth a 3-second head start on the final course. At the end, the first player to complete the finals course will be the Super Mario Maker 2 Invitational Champion. And 9, we'll get a chance to meet our 4 competitors here shortly, 4 players that are very well versed in the Mario universe. However, when you get set to play Super Mario Maker 2 for the first time, you've never seen these levels before. How do you approach it? What's the strategy as you get set for these courses?
Easy way to describe it is instincts versus analysis. You're not going to get through these levels in one try. I don't think anyone's that good. They might prove me wrong, but it's really a matter of adapting to what's on the screen. Do you throw yourself right at it and learn by
A little bit
messing
off
up,
topic,
or do
but a
you
friend
instead
just
think a
told me
little
that
bit, spend
Nino
30
Kuni
seconds
2,
to save
or
yourself
Nino
a minute
Kuni,
down the
sorry,
road?
is coming to
We'll talk
Switch.
about that
I don't know if they
theme
said 1 or
versus
2, I think they
board
just
all
said
throughout
1.
the competition.
But yeah, that's kind of cool. I've never
Handling the
played Nino
different
Kuni,
physics of the different
but apparently it's a pretty good
Mario genres. You're gonna
JRPG.
be controlling a Mario from one universe as you handle obstacles and traps that maybe appeared in a different Mario universe. How do these players adapt to all the physics they're going to be handling?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to experience at the end of the day. Like, if you're well versed in all the Mario games that are here in Mario Maker 2, you're going to have an easier time dealing with all the objectives and enemies on the fly, right? Like, you're going to be speedrunning it, so you don't have that much time to adapt and react. So your experience is really going to come in the clutch, in these clutch moments.
And these courses are going to be very exciting. They were designed by our good friends at Nintendo Treehouse. We know they have been done with care and love as well, too. A lot of emotion put into these courses. But let's go ahead and take a moment to meet our 4 competitors in the Super Mario Maker 2 Invitational 2019.
So what's going
Oh,
through
hey,
your
it's
mind while
Gerard.
you're
Nice.
playing? Well,
Probably the only person I know that's going to be representing.
No!
Yep, there he is. The completionist himself.
Why though? Why was that me?
No idea who any of these other people are, I'm sorry, so... It's going to be biased, but I'm going to be rooting for the completionist, I guess.
so what's going through your mind while you're playing?
It's complicated.
Alright.
4 terrific speedrunners that have had plenty of experience in the Mario universe. To see the completionists, Abdallah the Dragon Feeny and MeleeKirby. And 9, we were having some breakfast earlier. We chatted with them. They're excited for this. They feel like there's a clear favorite amongst the 4 of them, though.
Yes, they do. 3 of the 4 selected Dragon Feeny as the favorite. The one who did not was Dragon Feeny herself, ever the humble competitor.
You know,
But
Abdallah,
that
he
first
plays
round
Yokai
is gonna be
Watch.
really
Oh, okay
important
then.
because whoever
Yeah, I've never
wins
heard
that
of
is
him,
going to get
unfortunately.
to choose their partner, and it might be Dragon Feeny.
And Vish, we were highlighting some of the new features in Super Mario Maker 2 as opposed to Super Mario Maker. What are some things
Why-
we might
why has he got
possibly
a
see as these
blindfold
players
on?
see the courses for their very first time?
Well, the big thing is there's a new game mode. Like, there's a
Oh.
whole new game type with Mario 3D
I guess
World.
they
So
need
you might,
to,
you might
for
see
some
a Meowser,
reason.
You might see Cat Mario. There's all sorts of new contraptions in the fray for this new Mario Maker.
I'm
Aside
assuming
from that,
they're
you
not
have
allowed
things
to
like
see
slopes,
or
you have
hear the
things like
course yet
parachutes
until
that
it's their
are just
turn. I
gonna
guess
add a
that's
new
why they're
little
putting
element of
blindfolds
surprise,
on.
And these players are going to have to deal with that on the fly while getting their best time possible. It's going to be a fun ride.
Well, as you look at Abdallah and the completionists, you'll notice that they've got face masks on. They've got noise-canceling headphones on. Oh, look at that. That's just a holiday card right there.
Well, there's a
Bestest
meme image
buddies.
if I've ever seen one.
It's okay. You can smile, completionist. You're here having fun right now. He can't hear me. Those work very well. I like that. So they obviously won't get a chance to be a couple of sneaky sneaks and see the level as it gets played. But as we get set for MeleeKirby and the Dragon Feeny to take place here, we mentioned those new features and that risk reward as far as how fast you want to go through this 9 versus maybe I dip my toe in the pool rather than
I
take
do
a
miss the
cannonball
Nintendo
because I'm
World
not sure what's coming
Championships where they
next.
had like
It's
a
all about
mishmash of
creativity,
Nintendo
too, and
games, but I'm
adapting
glad
on
that
the
they're
fly,
doing
as a
Mario
couple of
Maker
you
as its
said.
own thing.
You can take maybe one
Because that's
path
like
and
the
try it
best
a
way to
certain
advertise
and
this
maybe that
game to
doesn't
the
work.
masses.
So the
It's
second
like,
time,
hey,
you
this
might
is
try
what
it
you can
again,
do
but
with
that
this
third
game.
time, fool me once, shame
And
on
you
you.
can
Fool
do
me
it
twice,
too.
shame on me. Fool me 3 times, you got to change the game plan a little bit.
And Vish, it's one thing when you're back in the comfy confines of your living room or your bedroom playing this game and getting a chance to hit the reset button if you struggle, but you're on a big stage here right now. We've got a fantastic audience in the crowd getting set to watch this. We've got a lot of people watching this through the stream and everything as well too. The nerves that might be going through these players real quickly here.
Is the volume
yeah,
mixing
I mean, it
okay?
is a big stage like you mentioned, and it's the first time that we're seeing Super Mario Maker 2 in a stage like this. And from talking to the players, they don't have too much experience on a stage like this, so it's going to be very interesting to see how they deal with the nerves and playing like a technical game like Mario Maker or Mario in general while you're speedrunning is going to be very, very crucial for
It's
them
a bit
to not
quiet.
feel
I'll
nervous
fix that.
in the middle of their runs.
Well, the wait is over. Let's hit the start button. The Dragon
loud.
Beanie versus Yellow Killer B, our opening
go. I
speed
think that's
run
better
in
now.
round 1 of the
Let me know if
Super
that's fine.
Mario Maker 2 Invitational 2019. Let's start the countdown. 2, 1, and go. As they get set, they'll be hitting the start button at the same time. The Dragon Feeny on the left-hand side of your screen, Yellow Killer B on the right. And already 9, what genre of Mario are we seeing here?
Got a little Super Mario 3D world, how about that? And the slopes coming out immediately, and this is already a new feature. This block, when you ground pound it, immediately goes to its full extent and
So
builds
this is
a
the
new
Mario
pathway.
3D
The
world
Dragon
style, I
Feeny in
believe.
early lead decides to go with the right path, and so does Yellow Killer B. And we see here, Vish, a couple of different paths in these exclamation blocks, providing a little bit of a challenge early on.
Yeah, this is the new feature, as Nine pointed out. So you want to be able to use the ground pound to get all of them fully expanded.
Dragon
and from there you
Feedy's
can
not
make your
doing
way
so
through
good.
this level. But I'm surprised that both of them went to the right off the bat. And definitely a little bit of a lead for Yellow Killer B, but I wonder how she's going to traverse through the rest of the stage now.
Yellow Killer B buzzing her way up towards the top. The Dragon Feeny trying to get a couple of those wall jumps. And the Yellow Killer B into the tube early on. And 9, here we go. Our first look at the car. Go ahead, strap in your seatbelt, get ready for some
Yeah,
fun
Dragon
here.
Feeny
I
doesn't
think I've
realize
seen
you can
this
ground
before.
pound
The
those
bounce and
blocks
going all the way
on the
up here.
down bit.
This is all about conserving your momentum. The trick in this segment of the level is you can't mess up because you don't get a chance to build speed a second time.
Yellow Killer B driving.
Right, okay, I think that's fine now.
A couple of springs, has to make a U-turn and go back into traffic. Meanwhile, the Dragon Feeny on your left-hand side still trying to navigate those exclamation blocks. And Yellow Killer B, a little collision coverage right there. She bumps into the spikes, looking for the exclamation block, and she's on to the next part here. And already, you see the different things that can be thrown at these players. Dragon Feeny deciding to go to the left, but Vish.
I love how
Yellow
she's
Killer
just
B,
straight up
we've
giving
got
up to
Cat
go to
Mario
that.
right now.
Oh, Cat Mario is
Like, just
finally
go
making
to
its
the other
appearance, and
side.
I like it. I like that Dragon Feeny tried on the right side and figured that she couldn't do it, so she went to the left side where she has the mushroom trampolines, and maybe that would be an easier time for her to traverse through this. But Yellow Killer B with a huge lead right now. That needs to use the crawl feature, the wall climb feature there with the Meowser, or the Cat Mario. Doing a great job already here. We got 2 options again with the blue and green. Green, of course, actually goes a little bit slower than the blue.
And 9, Yellow Killer B, she's not kidding around. You have to make sure that you handle these moving blocks, and those springs can throw players off quite a bit. When we talked to them prior to this, they said the one obstacle they don't like are springs.
It was a universal answer that they don't like, and you see that Yellow Killer B right now is trying to use wall jumps and stay ahead of that platform. But you gotta be careful as you're making the jump. I think she's starting to figure it out here. The combination.
Don't really have a
of the
lot to add
climb
while
is
I'm watching this,
multiple
but
jumps might
yeah.
get her up, and that's another
It's pretty
level
obvious that I think Yellow Killer B's going to win this one.
To the top, sees the tube at this point, and Yellow Killer B continues to extend her lead. Vish, we've already seen a variety of obstacles. More springs coming up here. Yellow Killer B trying to go on the treadmill. A couple of treadmills up in the air, though. I wonder if those coins should lead her there, Vish.
Right, yeah. It feels like you want to follow the coins typically when you see these kind of levels, and the arrows specifically. The on-off switch is a new feature here in this Mario Maker 2, which actually turns the directions of the conveyor belt.
There we go.
And Yellow Killer B makes it all the way to the finish line.
Buzz. Yellow Killer B, the first one to cross the finish line. Impressive right there. Dragon Feeny will have 30 seconds left to finish up the level. We see already these alternating pink and blue blocks.
Also, the live stream feed has gone to like 30 FPS now. It was at 60 not that long ago, but I guess it can't keep up. But never mind.
And that's the difference between this left and right side. This is more timing based, whereas that right side was about identifying which block you had to use.
Okay.
Dragon Feeny avoiding some thwomps right there, hopping on top of those happy clouds.
That took her long enough.
Yellow Killer B, meanwhile, just sitting back, chilling. She already crossed the goal. An impressive job by our first two speedrunners handling that. And as we said, Vish, it's all about learning with the obstacles and adapting. And we saw that especially with
yeah,
Yellow
she didn't
Killer B
realize
as
that you
Cat
could
Mario
ground
on
pound
that
those
green
yellow
moving
blocks
platform. Seemed like
to
she
like
finally
make
found her
them
rhythm
like
after a
spit out
couple
all
of
the
tries.
other blocks.
Yeah, it really is all about using the climb, I think, with Cat Mario, because you can go just a little bit higher and then from there jump to the next area and then do your wall jumps and whatnot. But I think it was very interesting that Dragon Feeny was stuck in that one area between the two different ways that she could have gone. And I think maybe if she had gone back to the mushroom trampoline a little bit earlier, it might have worked out well. Because some players are just better at certain aspects of the game.
And Nine, those exclamation blocks are very tricky, especially when you're trying to wall jump, because some of those blocks you have to hit. Others, they're
The
not
quality
really
of the
help you
stream
out
will
too
kind
much.
of go
And
up
again,
and down a little
sometimes
bit
finding out which of the blocks you need to
because
hit is
my
almost
internet is not the
luck-based
best.
thing, and not all of those blocks are created equal. And really, I think that the most important part is identifying which of the blocks are nice, so if you do fall, you can make it back up without losing too much time.
And you look at the pacing as well too, Vish. It seemed like they weren't really hitting the brakes too much. A nice little rhythm, but they also didn't get themselves in too much trouble by going too fast.
Right. I think that's going to be the risk and reward that we're talking about a little bit. Because if you go all the way just holding right the entire time, there's going to be little traps and whatnot that could set you back. You might save 5 seconds, but lose 30 seconds in the long run. So I think just being a little cautious goes a long way in the end.
The Dragon Feeny and Yellow Killer B, our first two participants. Yellow Killer B crossing the finish line first. We'll get her official time for you here shortly to see what Abdallah and the completionists have to get if they want to be in first place. Don't forget, the winner of our opening round gets to choose their teammate for round two. And this is where a little gamemanship comes in here, Nine, because you have to ask yourself, do I pick the strongest person to help me out in the second round, meaning I have a stronger opponent in the finals, or do I maybe pick somebody that struggled a little bit and maybe make my path in the finals that much easier?
Well, I've heard that some competitors might be maybe not trying 100% here in the early rounds just to make sure that they can throw people off here. So I think the games have already started, but you laid it out perfectly there. Are you assuming that you can get through that second round with a lesser teammate, or do you want to get there and let the championship round decide itself?
All right, let's get set for our next speed run here between Abdallah and the completionist here as they get set for the same level we just saw. They haven't seen it yet. They were blindfolded and had the noise-canceling headphones on. They're excited. They're ready to roll. The crowd
Cool to
is
see the
hyped up.
completionist is here.
Let's take another look at this first course in Super
Usually
Mario
when
Maker 2
Nintendo
as
like
part of
tries
our
to do like at an
Invitational.
event and
Let's
they
get
bring
the
in
countdown rolling here
influencers,
in
it's like
just
everybody
1 moment.
is somebody I don't know, and then they bring in Aaron from the Game Grumps, and then that's it.
And off we go. Both players hitting start at the same time because they exercise good sportsmanship. That's what we like to see. And we saw earlier, there's a big blooper that comes out of the top question block, but we've got the completionist. He's trying to complete the level already, Fish. It's all about the speed here, rather.
Right. He wants to make sure he hits all the little blocks as soon as he can, but he gets a little power up that the other players kind of avoided because they're going for the speedrun aspect. Right?
Yep, he knows how to do this.
And again, both players going for the right side.
And that's what we see right here, Nine, taking that exclamation point. Maybe it's the big yellow blocks that just draw your attention, but already the completionist figuring out the trick of using that ground pound. Abdallah, though, losing a life and having to go back to the beginning. Huge lead for the completionist here now.
It is, and one more block we saw. This takes you almost right up. Can he complete the jump? Can he salvage this? It looks like he is. Great spin all the way through.
Nice.
Fantastic save there.
Nice recovery.
Completion is checkpoint reach. The aerial acrobatics to find himself in the cart portion at this point. And as you said, very precise jumps needed during this part if you want to avoid an accident. Those springs already trying to deter the completionist. And you take a look on the side, on the left-hand side with the completionist, those springs knocking him off. Abdallah, right now on the right-hand side of your screen, doing a
So that's a
great
pretty
job
cool
bouncing
idea
off
for a
this
level
platform.
design with the karting section.
I like that there's no hesitation from Abdallah's end there because
Apparently you can get the Super Mario Kart music to play during these sections as well if you use one of the sound bites.
Jumping also towards the end of that area is actually very clutch because a lot of players players are tricked up by it and they end up jumping a little bit and having to do that entire course again.
Abdallah moving on to the Cat Mario portion. Meanwhile, the completionist, well, he's just trying to lock some miles. We'll just put it that way. Cat Mario 9, you have to understand different physics can jump a little bit higher.
It is, and already going that way. And once again, going over to the green side here, the block on the left side does move a little bit quicker here. So it's a little bit easier if you want to get the speed, but sometimes that means you'll miss it too. Thinks they're going to try it right here.
And that's a good point. The rhythm that comes with being on the left-hand side, a little bit more natural because those blocks move faster, but Vish, Abdallah struggling just a little bit with the block portion, giving the completionist some time to catch up, but looks like the completionist is just going for a joyride right now.
Yeah, definitely. It feels like Abdallah is just trying to remember how to play Cat Mario because he's doing the glide when he wants to do the wall climb and whatnot. And I think having those split mistakes every so often is really not going to be helpful in clearing a course like this that's very, very tight in terms of wall jumps.
And that's a good point. 9.
I don't know why Abdallah is struggling so much with this section.
For Cat Mario.
Holy shit, like he was doing so well.
Early on, already having to deal with it. Meanwhile, the completionist in the Cat Mario stage has a chance to catch up here.
It does. This is very close right here. Just one more jump, and the completionist will be really about even with them once they get to that checkpoint here. And I think Abdallah's starting to figure it out there. Instead of standing on top of that very slow green platform, instead maybe using it to try to climb up. But it looks like he's found another way. That creativity paying off.
Right. Slow and steady wins the race. With the green blocks, they do end up going slower, which allowed Abdallah to really think out what movements he wanted to do and do the climb right before his jump. So he will make it to the next portion here. And again, you got to follow those coins and you got to follow those arrows.
Abdallah at the end just has to climb those last moving treadmills as you see here. There's one, there's two. And here's one of those on-off switches that can affect so many different things, but Cat Mario making, oh no, Abdallah misses the exclamation mark. It has to go all the way back to the bottom. Here comes the completionist in the block portion. Is there enough time for him to catch up? Don't forget, they're racing our winner from the earlier round right now. We'll see how that time stacks up as Abdallah reaches the top of the pole first.
Good race.
And we'll have 30 more seconds for the completionist just to play around with Super Mario Maker 2 and have some fun there.
Yeah, I think he's trying to complete the level right now, and he really wants to see what else is in there. So I appreciate it.
16 seconds left, but you talk about the different physics that you have to get used to.
Well, there's a mechanic we didn't tell you about before. When you do competitive races, you get like a little bit extra time to check out, I guess. Or I don't know if that's just like for the purposes of this contest.
Yes, and I think that right here, as we do see that time tick away, it really was not understanding the Cat Mario physics that kind of threw him off there. There was a chance to climb the wall earlier, but instead looking for a more traditional wall jump.
Good game.
Maybe a little more familiarity, and that
I don't know if it was as fast though as whoever the other person. What was the other person who won the previous one? But yeah, I don't know if they were as fast as her.
No, yeah, the Cat Mario definitely is a little bit difficult because in the portions like that, you're trying to just go and do the wall jump as soon as possible, but actually doing the climb just a little bit so you can time your jump and get a little bit more height is very crucial for that particular portion of the level.
So Abdallah wins the head-to-head matchup against the completionist. We do want to clean up one thing. In that prior race with Yellow Killer B and the Dragon Feeny, their graphics were on the incorrect side of the screen, so the Dragon Feeny actually winning that first round. And we'll see how her time stacks up against Abdallah. I believe she had the fastest time, so she'll get a chance to choose her teammate in the second round. But already early on, 9, we saw that on a given level.
So they put the wrong name on the wrong screen then? Okay then.
Your strengths is all the difference in the world.
Well, it's all about the strengths, and we saw trying to shift back over to the left side after a little bit of struggles on the right side there. That's where those split-second decisions come in, because we've seen how fast these players can get through a level that they've never seen before. There really isn't that much room to mess up.
And you saw the kart Mario portion in the car. Very difficult for the completionist at times because you have to maintain that momentum. Not much of a problem for Abdallah.
Yeah, no, the Cooper car it's kind of difficult when you're not sure what's going to show up next, right? Because you have to keep your momentum, you have to keep your speed throughout that level, and then there's also one portion where you're not supposed to jump, where it's on the rest of it you're supposed to jump. So keeping all of that in mind is actually quite difficult as it's going so fast.
Well, let's take a look at the times after our first round in the 4 speed runs and see who had the fastest time. And it looks like the Dragon Feeny in 3:11, Abdallah 33 seconds behind. And you see Yellow Killer B in the completionist unable to finish due to the speed of the Dragon Feeny and Abdallah. And we've been told that the Dragon Feeny, for her teammate in round 2, has chosen Yellow Killer B. Ooh. So interesting choice right there, but you saw Yellow Killer B wasn't too far behind the Dragon Feeny, and now they get set for the co-op course, and This is where communication comes in. It's so important, and that cooperative play as well too, Nine.
Well, player 2 is always important whenever you're going through a game like this, and it's really important that someone, I think,
I really do hope at some point, like after the game comes out, I think it's a bit too late now because the game's more or less going gold at this point, like 3 weeks out from release. But I hope soon after the game releases, they'll maybe patch the game to let you play online with friends, because I still find that a baffling fucking decision on Nintendo's part, especially since they're making this push for like Nintendo Online. It's like you're paying for an online service that they're actively trying to advertise with this game. Like you can buy a bundle that includes Nintendo Online for this game, and you can't like actually play co-op with friends online. And I'm thinking, why?
The timing of things, you know, in a 2-player mode, if you have on-off switches,
like, cause I'll be streaming, like when I stream Mario Maker 2 online, which I will stream a lot. It kind of sucks that I won't be able to play cooperative with people watching the stream.
I think a lot of it's going to be coming down to timing.
And I think a lot of people who are going to be streaming it will feel the same way. It's kind of baffling that I just can't even do that. Not right away anyway. Maybe they'll fix it later.
So maybe they have some good synergy.
Sorry if I'm talking over these guys. They're just
synergy, nice business word right there. I'll see that on
they're just
PowerPoint presentation.
You're not missing much. I think they're just like stalling for time while they're setting up for the next courses.
You walk into a section of these courses and you have to perceive everything around you and figure out, how do I solve this puzzle? And now it's going to be implementing most likely that second player. It's not just something you can do by yourself while your partner kicks back.
And I'll turn it back down once the game starts.
You do have 2 people, so it should reason that you can now figure it out twice as fast or something like that. So the communication is going to be just as important as what's going on in the game itself.
And also just the execution of the different moves that Mario can do. We saw that with Cat Mario, some of these players struggling as well too. You have to be very familiar with these power-ups, and it looks like our teams are set to go. Round 2, our co-op course here at Super Mario Maker 2 Invitational 2019. The Dragon Fiend and Yellow Killer Bee taking on Abdallah and the Completionist. Let's get ready for the countdown here, folks. 3, 2, 1, and let's hit that start button here. As we said, it's co-op mode, Mario, Luigi, a little Super Mario World action here.
Yeah,
nice.
I know a lot of the competitors, when we were talking to them, said they are very familiar with this. So if there's ever going to be a mode that they will know what to do, this is going to be the time.
Early on, you see a bit of an obstacle here, trying to get to the top shelf. There's an on switch just staring you in the face. Dragon Feeny, Yellow Killer Bee, that figure it out. But now they've got to advance Luigi on the bottom. They're starting to slowly figure it out. Hitting those on-off switches, opening up the gates, allowing them to progress.
That's a cool idea.
Fish.
Yeah, like we're talking about, one person is doing the on-off and the other person is just waiting. And in this particular moment, this is where the timing matters, right? Because he has to turn the switch on, and then the blue block will appear, and he has to jump on it. He has to do that 2 or 3 times, and they both make it to the second round at basically the same time.
Both teams sneaking through the door at the same time. Now you see a swinging crane floating at the top. They're trying to jump off of each other's heads to grab it.
I'm already thinking of some really cool ideas for level designs based off of what they've shown so far.
But there is a P block right there. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that switch here, 9.
The best prize that you could ever get at the end of a crane game pair. Dragon Fiend and Yellow Killer Bee move. They both get in at the same time. I cannot believe how close this is already. And now we see the switches again. It's going to be very important that they identify this because they are both moving at incredible speed.
And you see Abdallah and the Completionist slightly further ahead than the Dragon Fiend and Yellow Killer Bee. Don't forget, whatever team wins advances to the finals where they face off against each other. Abdallah and the Completionist.
I do like the idea of like a cooperative stage where you just work together to get through.
Trying to jump up with that spring, advances. Luigi on your right-hand side, just a few seconds behind here, Fish.
This is a really tight race. They are just neck and neck right now. They're really figuring out all the things they need to do and like throwing the POW block up there to get the spring. And now they just have one more little obstacle to complete here. They already passed the POW block to the top there. That timing.
Past the gravy and past the POW block as that vine comes down. And Dragon Feeny, Yellow Killer Bee, they advance. Abdallah and the Completionist, kicking it.
That makes all the difference. Now they're going to lose, I think.
Grab a new POW block. Here comes another on-off.
I don't know how he missed that question mark block, to be honest.
This one is a little bit tricky. The last time that we saw this switch, it was a little bit more obvious what you need to do. Here, there's going to be some bouncing that's involved. You can't get to it with a normal jump.
Abdallah and the Completionist now equal with the Dragon Feeny and Yellow Killer Bee. And Bish, this is what we talked about. Seeing a puzzle in front of you and figuring out what do I do with all the tools at my disposal.
Right. I think just even like exploring a level or just like going through and seeing what options you do have could really help you out in a juncture like this.
You see Abdallah, the completionist, on that left-hand side, trying to jump onto the red block. They advance Mario right there. Ooh, what do you do here, Nine? This looks precarious.
Well, they got to figure it out quick. 1, 2, just a
Oh.
the right idea. But unfortunately, the right idea is not enough. You got to start all over again.
And it comes to the execution we talked about, Bish. You can have the right idea, but at the end of the day, your thumbs have to be in sync with your brain.
Yeah, I mean, in a speedrun like this, you usually get like one try at most in terms of learning that kind of idea here. So he can't mess up again because you have to start all the way from the beginning. Will he get the timing down this time? You can see them biding their time.
Oh! Shuts the gate on him! Shuts the gate on him! Said, no, you can't come in for dinner!
Oh, no.
Abdallah and the completionist going back to the beginning. Meanwhile, Dragon Feeny, Yellow Killer B still trying to find the rhythm. But Nine, this is an important point. You see
I don't know if they mentioned who is playing as who, but oof, just that timing though. There we go.
That quickly is how they can get through it there. Both sides know what they need to do. It's just a matter of execution. And as we get to another tricky room right here, it's up to the Dragon Feeny and Yellow Killer B to get through this as fast as possible.
And keep in mind, these red and blue blocks are now automatically switching off, and that's a feature with the on-off switch here, Vish. Other items can turn it on and off, but now that skull track is gone, let's go through the door and see what happens after that. Abdallah and the completionist, one room ahead on this course over Dragon Feeny and Yellow Killer B. They're going to give themselves another chance on the left here, trying to time things out.
I can't wait to mess around with the on-off switches to see what I can do with those.
Taking the carpool.
Lots of cool ideas I'm seeing here.
Is that going to be enough as you take a look coming out the pipe? One more trap here though, Nine.
It's a trap and also a new feature. They immediately go to grab each other. 1, 2.
Oh, the air ball is just short. Abdallah and the completionist.
Right, well, that's a new thing you can do.
And advance to the final.
Nice.
And they do. Abdallah and that completionist high fives and dap around as they move on to the finals. Nicely done. Fantastic execution, and you see all the things you can do in co-op play.
Well, it's cool that you can grab each other like you can do in New Super Mario
Really
Brothers.
see the teamwork coming together as
With
the
yellow
as
styles.
the course even progressed, right? Like you could see them really on point with their timing. As soon as they got that one red-blue block at the start where you have to do it twice in order to continue the next one, I feel like they were totally in sync, and everything after that just kind of really smoothly came together for them.
In Nine, it seemed like the difference in this course was how quickly Abdallah and the completionist figured out that one room where you've got to alternate the red and blue blocks and then time the double jump at the end. And they're able to rinse and repeat multiple times. Meanwhile, Yellow Killer B and the Dragon Feeny just couldn't get the rhythm down.
No, and it's remarkable not only how quickly they were able to adapt, but how quickly they figured out the exact timing that they needed to do. That is not easy to do. These people know what they're doing, and that skull track room that they got through, that took them 2 tries. They figured it out immediately and executed it right on that second try.
Well, we're at the finals, which means we do have to say goodbye to 2 of our competitors. Crowd, let's give a big round of applause to Dragon Feeny and Yellow Killer B. Excellent work considering this is the first time they saw this game, and I'm sure they're going to just have a great time with it when it releases later this month. But we do have a finals to get to, and it'll be 3 objective.
What does that say on her t-shirt?
One finals course as well, too.
Feel like to see.
This is where things
She
get
had
fun
something
because
written on
that
her
means we can
t-shirt
race
there, but I don't know what it
courses
said.
here. You see round 1, the Dragon Feeny had the fastest time. She chose Yellow Killer B. However, Abdallah and the completionist, with a bit of an upset in the second round, they'll pair off against each other in those finals. And as we said, the courses and the ways that you can complete them now, it's going to involve probably more puzzle solving.
Right, and this is a new feature that we have here, the ability to have clear conditions and then touching the flagpole or whatever it may be that's at the end of the level.
And there's different things that you can do. You can perhaps maybe collect a certain amount of coins, hit a P-switch possibly. So understanding that and realizing what you have to do, and these are probably going to be shorter courses as well too, Vish, so less margin for error.
Right. I think taking your time with courses like this really will pay off because there's going to be little precarious traps as you go along, right? So, and there's going to be levels where you may have to like escort something, you may have to have an item along with you, you might have to collect all the coins as you mentioned.
I believe
so
Splatoon is after this, yes.
Being very wary
I won't be
of what's
streaming
coming
that
up
though.
ahead while
I don't
going
really
as fast as
watch
you
the
can is gonna be
Splatoon
really
championship stuff they do.
Well, let's get set for our first course in the finals, the first of 3 mini courses that are objective-based. So keep an eye out for what that objective is. It'll appear at the bottom of your screen here shortly. We've got Abdallah versus the completionist. Course 1 of the finals. Let's get this countdown started here, crowd.
They were really chummy in the previous game, but now the gloves are off. Now they got to play against each other. Look at
I see a firm crowd from the completionist. He's ready to go.
I do love the
3,
completionist.
2,
So
1.
yeah, that was
Let's roll well here. Both players in that play, but at the same time, finals one, a little Super Mario 3 here, 9.
Well, you knew we
After
were going to get
hitting
it
one
coming up
P-switch.
eventually, and it's going to be reaching the goal after hitting all, in this case, one P-switch.
Well, let's see what we have here. You go through the pipe, and there's a mushroom, and up! Just like airplane seats for me, too big to get through there, Fish.
Yeah, that's our first peek at the night mode feature that we have in Super Mario Maker 2. And it looks like there's twisters here as well, and we also have the little sandstorm feature, which is going to push you through that little area that's too difficult for you if you were a big Mario.
Abdallah trying to figure out which jigsaw piece can complete this puzzle right now. Can't make it through that pipe as long as you've got those twisters at the bottom. Hits the on-off switch, trying to mess around with the twister on the right-hand side. Meanwhile, Completionist, knocks the twister off right there, and seems like both players still trying to kind of figure out how this course works here, 9.
Right, and you called it a
think
puzzle
I
earlier,
understand
it
how this
absolutely is,
works.
and everything that you see
Kind
right
of.
here is self-contained. Both of them have gone through the door, they've gone back through the pipe, and it looks like the Completionist is starting to figure it out, escorting that twister all the way to the end. Almost there, gonna have to get it to drop just one more.
You'll notice that twister doesn't move to any empty block. It'll return back, but the twister drops down for the Completionist. Looks like our crowd is starting to kind of figure out this puzzle as well, too. Now it just comes down to that execution piece we talked about, Fish.
Right, yeah, I think both players are kind of figured out the mechanics of this level and how to get the twister all the way to the right, left side there. And
There we
he
go.
gets him all the way down, and that's going to move the P block all the way there, and he is going to be able to get it up. P-switch ready.
But the
but wait a minute.
Completionist carries it.
Wait
You gotta... Don't you hit a P-switch when you see it, Fish?
You should hit
He's
the
carrying it like a watermelon at this point. He hits the P-switch. The Completionist, first one through the pipe. Abdallah still trying to hit
I can't believe
Completionist.
Abdallah did the exact same mistake the Completionist did.
At the end, and the Completionist wins the first course, giving him a 3-second head start in the finals already. And that's what we saw, 9, the ability to recognize a puzzle and how quickly can you rinse and repeat.
Well, talk about a margin for error here. They both actually did the same thing. They took the P-switch up to the block on the top right. The only difference is that the Completionist did not let the block go. We saw Abdallah do that, and once it's up there, you can't grab it again. It's floating in the air, you're floating in the air, and we didn't see it there, but he actually had to reset the level anyway.
And it goes back to the mechanics of not only Mario, Vish, but the different traps and hazards you're going to see, understanding how those twisters work and how you can't go through the pipe and you can't go through if you're carrying anything.
Yeah, that's a new feature here in Mario Maker 2, so it just kept you all the way up there, and it's a P-switch. You gotta hit the switch, man. All the switchers on the right side.
It's shiny, it's blinking you in the face. You gotta jump on it right there. But the Completionist winning the first course of that objective course as we saw, and really impressive work by both of them to figure it out. So let's go ahead and get set for our second course here between Abdallah and the Completionist. The Completionist taking the first one with a 3-second head start. They're ready to go. They're exhaling. They're ready to roll. Let's get this countdown started here. All right, we've got our second course here, and 9. What are the rules for this one here?
Reach the coin, or the goal, after grabbing all 100 coins. You do have to reach the coins, in fact, 100 of them, and you see right there, that flag is not yet there. Let's hop into the pipe and see what we've got.
And also, what genre are we working with here so they're familiar with the controls?
Yeah, this is Super Mario World 3D, so we're gonna be able to see what's going on here. Or new Mario Maker's Wii U. So we're gonna have the
Completionist on your right-hand side, using that wall jump and those swinging cranes. Abdallah flying forward right now, gets Propeller Mario, and whee! Trying to go to the top. And you see those vines might help here. 9 already, Abdallah blowing through this course.
That's 90 coins right there, needs to find 10
Nah, I think
more.
Abdallah's got this one.
Your screen, another new feature, 10 coins in one. You saw a few blocks get broken right there. I think Abdallah already knows. It's just on execution, but watch out, the Completionist not far behind, but that's all 100.
Abdallah now just has to descend to the bottom and all about grabbing that bag and going here at this point here, Vish.
Yeah, working with the physics on this level, he traversed this so quickly because it was tight timings to do those little wall jumps and make sure you get the propeller in.
So taunting by Abdallah.
Yeah.
So much for gamemanship and good friendship right here.
They were just friends in the previous game. What happened?
Smirk.
Okay.
Oh, I know that heating up
The
here at Super Mario
disrespect.
Maker 2 Invitational 2019. Friends are now foes. Abdallah rubbing it into the face and beard of the Completionist right there, 9.
That nod that the Completionist gave was not a happy nod. That was
all right.
we got one more.
Yeah,
Let's see who gets the lead.
That's a you cut me off in the buffet nod right there. No, thank you. 1-1 is the score now, so neither player with a head start in the final course we'll get to. We're ready for course number 3. Let's keep this action rolling here, crowd. You know what to do when that countdown begins. Let me hear you sing.
I gotta say, these levels are so creative. I'm really enjoying it.
Third objective-based course here. 9, go ahead and break it down for us.
Reach the goal while riding Yoshi. I know there's some Yoshi fans in the crowd. Come on, who doesn't love him? Right at the beginning, you get
Right, so you won't be able to like just ditch Yoshi to get to the end then.
A lot of saws, and that's not something Yoshi likes. Yoshi bouncing up the cannonball on the left-hand side for Abdallah. Slight lead, hits the off switch. I wonder what comes out of there. Avoiding the fire, but a twister sends him straight into the spike. And Abdallah losing a life right now. Oh, but the completionist able to move forward, jumping underneath the saws, and you see some dripping water. Avoids the icicle falling.
Remember those
down
bouncing
that
donut things were like added to Mario Maker 1 like as a post-patch update?
Yeah, that
or
being said,
post-release
I feel like
update?
the completionist like really went through that stage quite fast. He was able to duck under the saws really well, carrying the momentum while he slides. And then he also went through the icicle portion pretty quickly. And now he's already on the second part, and we're gonna see seesaws here. You gotta have to make sure to put your weight on the right portion.
There we go.
According to
GG.
completionist, finished that so fast.
under a minute. The completionist not rubbing it in. It's all business. You see the collar. You see the suit jacket right there. He'll take a 3-second head start into our final course. And how about that? Dancing around the hazards throughout that entire level 9. Nearly a flawless finish by the completionist.
We didn't even get to talk about the mechanics of that level there. I was going to say, well, you know, if you bounce off Yoshi, he can run around and you can jump back on him. The completionist said, no, I'll keep my dino the entire time. Let's just run through this. No problem whatsoever.
Prehistoric preservation by the completionist right there as we move on to our final course. And as we said, a 3-second head start for the completionist. And so it seems like these players are getting more comfortable. These courses are flying by much quicker as they get more invested in this game. And you'll see the finals, the 3 minis plus 1 final. The completionist taking 2 out of those 3, which means you have a nice, comfortable.
Yeah, I'm looking
3-second head
forward to
start.
seeing what the final stage is
as
going to
we
be
know,
like. It'll
sometimes
be like a
3
pretty
seconds isn't
long
much
level, I
time
think, with lots of like cool gimmicks and ideas thrown in.
The last couple of games, though, they were like pretty neck and neck, and some of them are speeding through it like we saw completionist.
I'm also
3
looking
seconds
forward to
might
that single player
actually
story
be
mode
make or
thing
break
as well,
in
because
this
that like
last
teach
lap
you
we're gonna see.
how to use
Let's get
different
set for our final
mechanics and
course
stuff,
of
like the
Super
different
Mario Maker
items.
2
It'll give you like
Invitational
ideas for your own
2019
levels.
crowd. Let's get this thing rolling. The completionist taking on Abdallah. One more course to determine who will be our champion this year. Let's get set. Oh, the completionist hitting the start button.
Oh.
Obviously, you get that 3-second head start. So that's
Did someone
great
press
right
the
there by
screenshot
Abdallah,
button there by accident?
honoring that. And of course, there's going to be lava here, 9.
Of course there's going to be lava, and this was the one that we hadn't seen yet. We're taking it back all the way to the classic there, and neither one of them clearing it so far. A little stumble there at the start, but of course lava. I wonder who we're going to see at the end of this.
The completionist able to stay alive and dance around the icicle, trying to get some momentum, waits for that lava to fall. We get to the next section here. Abdallah slightly ahead, grabs the swinging crane, but oh, we've got a big boom boom floating down right now, 9.
Look at how quickly Abdallah went across that, and the speed being too much. The completion is taking the more cautious route.
Should have
Beats the
ran
same
past
fate.
them
They're gonna
quickly,
start
but
again. I'm
oh
starting
well.
to think those 3 seconds may not matter too much.
And
I don't know who
Vince,
pressed the
this is where
screenshot
Vince
button, but that was
becomes very
definitely the
important because you're gonna
screenshot
get back
sound
to
from
the
the
same part that
Switch.
you stumbled against. How quickly can you get back to that same area?
Definitely. I think it's going to be like a huge learning process as they traverse this level, right? And that 3 seconds allowed him to get maybe 1 extra try, and Abdallah's already.
Oh, no!
And the little
pump fake by the
surprise.
spike. The spike said, in the kind words of Dikembe Mutombo, no.
Oh man.
But you know, we talked earlier
Sneaky
about how
design there.
lots of different elements of a level. We saw earlier a shell hitting the on-off block. This time it's a spike. You've got to be aware of everything. And even though Abdallah had made it further than the completionist, they started the same area.
Abdallah jumping just a little bit too high and catches his cap on the icicle. Meanwhile, the completionist is taking a nice little Sunday cruise, and he sees the trap ahead. Oh, but he jumps too early, and he falls into the lava. Abdallah with a chance to take the lead. He's got to navigate, but he falls to the same fate as earlier, and already this lava castle.
I don't think the
is causing a lot
completionist
of
realizes
issues
that you
for
can
both
run
our
across
runners here,
single
Nine.
tail
And now
gaps.
both of them know the trick to this, right? They've both been fooled by the same things a couple of times. This is really rinse and repeat, repetition, maybe little refinements here, but at this point, it's really just about making sure you execute the plan you already know.
And Vish, what's very difficult is you want to execute, but you know right on the other side, there's somebody competing right against you, and you've got to put the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, I mean, you want to like take your time just a little bit, but at the same time, you got to go as fast as you can.
Nicely
Completionist
timed.
Finally able to get all the red points. Will he go to the
Oh,
next point?
nice.
Gets the key.
He
and he's there.
does.
He's there. But what is waiting for him on the other side of that door?
Uh-oh, a seesaw.
Oh my God! He does that. He does that right away.
The castle reaches the first
adapted to that part really quick.
Has the icicles falling, staying on the moving platform.
Both of them managed to get past that.
Thank goodness for checkpoints.
And all of our excitement, Abdallah moving forward, and he's tiptoeing on this moving platform, but he falls to the same fate as well too. And this is tricky here, Nine, because those icicles are falling faster than the platform's moving.
Right, and I think Abdallah has already done it. You saw that he is starting much further back on the platform and just inching his way to the right, staying clear of them just a few more feet, and gets to the next portion, but what waits?
Just like getting candy in the middle of the night, you have to tiptoe down the hallway. Abdallah moving his way up the spikes to some more swinging cranes. Tries to go underneath the icicle here, and this is where that risk reward and speed factor comes in here, Fish.
Right. With the swinging crane, you can use the momentum to start the fall of the icicle, and then from there, able to get to the next swinging crane. So using all the physics of these new features in Mario Maker 2, and using the physics there to be able to jump on the opposite way from the swinging crane. I like that.
And don't forget, slopes just don't go downhill. If you're an optimist, they go up as well too, Nine. And here comes an interesting part with some vines, and Abdallah being like Tarzan, just being very careful swinging vine to vine.
This is interesting. I think Abdallah's been the more aggressive of the two players, but here saying, all right, let's just get across this. If I fall, I have a long way back up. As the completionist says, hey, wait a minute, I'm climbing this mountain too.
And Abdallah also saying one hazard he doesn't like, the solo spikes from the original Super Mario Brothers. You see it right there as those watermelon-looking bouncers making this climb to the summit just a little bit tougher, but Abdallah navigating that section.
I do love that you can make like vertical stages like this now.
And they all mentioned how much they dislike springs. There's a lot of springs in this portion, and you fall all the way down if you end up messing up this portion here of the swing claw. This is very tricky. I think this is where risk reward really comes into play, because you don't want to fall all the way down and have to redo this entire course.
Completion is not too far behind, using those swinging cranes to make his way up the mountain. Abdallah trying to figure out the seesaw with the twister. A lot of components here, and once again, you have to be familiar with the mechanics of these hazards here, Nine.
And you see right there, just not enough height to get up there. Gonna try it again. Abdallah knows what he needs to do here. He needs to manipulate where that twister is and lower him on the seesaw. And meanwhile, on the other side, the completion is never far behind.
He's on the vine portion as well, too, so we know he's hot on the heels of Abdallah. Abdallah just playing on the playground right now with the seesaw and the twister, trying to figure out, how do I get him to that bridge? Another puzzle-solving component here, Fish.
Yeah, and I think he's finally figured
there
it out.
we go.
He got him all the way to the tippy top of that seesaw, and now he will make his way to the next portion of the support pipe. But completionist, not too far behind if you can figure out how to do these swing claws really quickly.
Checkpoint reached by Abdallah. You see some more rising lava, a lot of Goombas trying to crowd the club. Oh, there he is. There's Bowser, but it looks like Bowser has updated his home security system. A couple more obstacles to try and take down King Koopa.
And this really is the puzzle here. Can they figure out the quickest and most efficient way? You see some spikes on top here. Gonna swing over there, and you look, Abdallah is taking his time right now and jumps a little too high.
Shit.
Earlier, you wanted to jump as high as you could on the crane. Not so
Yeah, this is a
much.
fairly lengthy course. They're almost at the end though. But yeah, over 5 minutes, that's how long this has taken.
You have to navigate the fire breath coming in from Bowser. And this is where it gets tricky here, because you saw those 3 icicles, and we always know 3 is the magic number here, Fish.
Right. I wonder how many icicles it'll take to get this Bowser. Okay, the third one goes, and then he thought it was going to be 3 as well. That's why he fell on top of him.
You thought it was going to take 3. The completionist, though, getting ready to go down the chimney, and boy, does he have some gifts for Bowser.
Bowser's been working out. It takes more than 3 now. What's going on?
Bowser hitting the gym, eating some protein, getting some greens in his system. Completionist, he's on the swinging crane. He's going to take a stab at Bowser. It takes 3, right? No.
Little did you know. Oh man, but these icicles are a very interesting way to be able to hurt Bowser in this level. So that swinging claw, I think, is going to be very useful in how they are able to do even more than just the 3 icicles.
9, rinse and repeat as always. You know how to get on top of Bowser, but now you have to be very careful. Is it going to be 3? No, with those saws. That's not the type of back massage you want right there. No. Bowser claiming the completionist. Abdallah trying to navigate things. He's already gotten a couple of icicles on Bowser. That's only 3, though. How many more does he need? 2 more going down. That's 6. That's got to do. No! It takes more than that, 9.
Oh, man, the completion is doing the same. Abdallah has his method here. Can he get over? Barely clears it in that.
I'm guessing 10, maybe?
9 icicles. That's still not enough.
Let's see if it'll do with 3 more. Abdallah.
12.
Unbelievable. Bowser hitting the gym just like you, 9.
What's going on? How is it 12 hits is not enough for Bowser? Where has he been this whole time? He's been training.
The fire keeps coming. Bowser does not want to champion. Oh, Abdallah knocks out Bowser. Now he just has to navigate the swinging crane. A couple more icicles. Watch out for the sod. And Abdallah
Good game.
gets the axe. Knocks out
How many hits
Bowser.
was that?
And
15?
that will do it as Abdallah is victorious, and he is your Super Mario Maker 2 Invitational 2019 Grand Champion.
That was pretty fun.
Goodness. What a crazy last level there. The way you take out Bowser was so creative. Super Mario Maker 2.
I think out of everything in that level there, Nine, the thing that surprised people the most, the 14 hits to knock out Bowser. We're all used to 3, but 14 icicles to KO Bowser.
And I think it's so important to recognize how tricky the method that Abdallah was using was, because every time he jumped out, there was a chance that the RNG of Bowser's fire would be there. He almost hit a Goomba as well, and as we all know, every time Mario takes a trip back to the beginning of that level, it resets the health, and Abdallah standing at center stage right now, championing the crowd.
Well, we have a champion to present his buddy. Please welcome the producer for Super Mario Maker 2, Mr. Tezuka.
Nice.
How about that trophy right there, Nine?
One of a kind, walking over there to get it. I know that this is exactly what they've been working for this entire time, and to be able to come out on top in the way that he has, just remarkable.
Abdallah, your champion here, and Mr. Tezuka passing on the hardware there. A couple photos as well, too. Let's go ahead, toss it down to Mr. Tezuka for a few comments.
改めましておめでとうございます。アブダラーさん。
Congratulations to you, just again.
本当はね、上の土管から登場したかったんですけども、ちょっと危ないからどうしてもやめてほしいということで、ここから出てきました。
So I actually wanted to enter the stage from that pipe, but I was told by the staff that would be too dangerous, so they told me to stop.
Nice.
素晴らしい試合でしたね。本当にどちらが勝つかわからなくて。
That was a really great final course you guys played, and I had no idea who was going to win right up until the end.
で私も日本でこのレベルを遊んでみたんですけど、全然クリアできなかったです。
So I actually played these courses myself in Japan, but I was unable to clear any of them.
制作者ですけども、このゲームのスタッフですけども、なかなかね難しいコースは苦手です。
So yeah, even for the staff of this game, these difficult courses are really tricky for us to play.
すごいスーパープレイでした。
So, but you were truly amazing. It was a super play that you put on display for us.
でこのゲームを盛り上げてくださった皆さんも拍手を送りたいと思います。このゲームを盛り上げてくださった皆さんにも拍手を送りたい。
And I also want to applaud you guys for raising such a good cheer for the entire play we saw today. Thank you. Applaud yourselves. Up here too.
このレベルは任天堂のツリーハウスのメンバーが頑張って作ってくださいました。
So these courses that you saw today were created by members of Nintendo's Treehouse.
でこのトーナメントのデザインもみんな彼らが考えてくださいました。
And they also thought up all the details for the tournament today.
これ皆さん遊んでみたいと思いませんか？
So would you like to give these courses a try yourself?
もうすぐこれ発売されますけども、その後、皆さんにも遊んでもらえるようにちょっと今考えてます。
So this game is going to be coming out pretty soon, and we're thinking of a way to make sure all of you will be able to play these courses as well.
まだまだ、このステージは続きます。もっともっと盛り上がってください。
So we've still got plenty of entertainment for you. You're going to be seen on this stage, so keep up the energy, and we hope you're looking forward to it all. All right, thank you so much.
Put your hands together one more time
Thank you.
for the producer of Super Mario Maker 2, Mr. Tezuka. And how about a round of applause for all of our participants, the Dragon Feeny, Yellow Killer B, the Completionist, and your champion, Abdallah. That'll do it for the Super Mario Maker 2 Invitational 2019. Don't forget Super Mario
There's
Maker
a lot
2
of trophies
drops
there.
June 28th.
Well, that was pretty cool. I
Make sure
liked
you
that.
grab that. You get a chance to
Quite
play
enjoyed
these
watching those
fantastic
competitive
levels.
courses
But
being
don't
played
go
out.
anywhere. We've got more great
Yeah, I
Nintendo
always had that one guy
competitive
going,
action just around the
hey,
corner
I don't know
as
who
we
that
get set
was, but
for the Splatoon
yeah.
2 World Championships 2019. Next, here at the theater at Ace Hotel.
So there's all the highlights. Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but that one person had no idea you had to ground pound those blocks to like go up. But yeah, that was quite fun. I'm assuming the Treehouse will put their, like when the game goes live and the servers go up, I guess they'll put their courses up so that you can like play them yourself. I'll probably check them out like on the first day the game comes out, if that's the case. It would be cool if they made a demo for Mario Maker 2, but I wouldn't begin to understand how you could even go about making a demo for it. Like maybe like a time demo for like the making portion. I don't know. Or maybe just like give you a handful of like custom created courses without letting you making anything. I'll be getting the game either way, I'll be getting it day one. There's that final part. How many icicles did it take? Was it like 15 or something? It was like 13, 14 or 15 icicles. It was the producer that was making that sound? Oh, okay. Hey! I'm not gonna stick around for the... I'm not gonna stick around for the Splatoon stuff. I know some people like this, but I don't really watch the competitive side of Splatoon for the most part. I've not played that game in months. I should rectify that and play it again. So I'm gonna stop the stream for now. Here's the schedule. I might come back later for Smash Brothers. It's like 2.5 hours from now, roughly. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'll have a think about it. But I'm just gonna do some other stuff for now, make something to eat, chill for a bit, maybe watch a few shows that I need to catch up on. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was pretty good watching the Mario Maker 2 Invitational, and it's only like 3 weeks out, so I'm excited. I can't wait for it. If I don't come back later tonight for the Smash Brothers Invitational, then I'll be back tomorrow for the Microsoft E3 briefing, which is, well, you can see the times there, so that's round about my usual time, a little bit earlier than that, but not by much. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you soon.